volume, everything should be good to go. We are all set. Okay, so let's go down and so a quick rundown of the last session so we know exactly where we are. So last time, as you all attempted to get an evening's rest, you were set upon by two large roaming black bears. Although at first seemingly only wanting your supplies, the careless action of the others as they awoke to the sound startled these bears and sent them into a bit of a angry panic. Ignis, you being the major victim, as one snatched you up and quickly kind of shook your unconscious body around like nothing, leaving you to fall dead on the ground, or dying on the ground. Thankfully, after a hard-fought battle, though, some strangers arrived that drew the attention of one of the bears, and so you were able to take them down one by one without suffering any further casualties, but not necessarily getting away from a couple of close calls. Afterwards, you would come to know the lone survivor of the strangers that stumbled upon the scenario as Frank, as he was in service to one minor foreign lord by the name of Oscar Groon. They were in search of the tents stolen from them, and with a wonderful lie on Shad's part, their suspicions were totally thrown off your own trail, despite just 10 feet away, a wagon full of their tents sat. Frank would, Hersian would offer payment, at least, for jumping in and kind of helping the situation with the bears, although Frank himself very close to death on that, and would offer one of their own tents, I guess you could say, which Frank would gladly accept, not even putting two and two together that it might be you all that stole these tents in the first place. He would say his goodbyes, taking the tent, and off he went. Getting the remainder of the rest that you could, you all tried to patch yourselves up in various ways, taking time to skin and deal with the large bears, gathering a large number of rations for your venture forward, seeing as how a good amount, at least of Ignis's rations, had been eaten by the bears. Afterwards, you set back upon your path, looking to catch up with Valdice as you rode, and just when you were having to look for a place to settle in for the evening, some of you relieved as you would see a rest house along the side of the road, also known as aviaries or pajareras. The sound of birdsong would fill the air on your approach. For the locals, this is a good omen for your path forward. You settled in, relieved to be under a roof without worry for the evening. You would have a nice bed as well. So for you all, it was a bit nice, considering the conditions of the latest days. Shad, you would actually spend some time gleaming some information from one of the two individuals in this rest house, injured, and so in payment for taking care of his wound, this individual known as Daniel would inform you that he was attacked by some lord, and his friends slain, he being the only one to survive and make it to the rest house. He would also inform you that Valdice, at least a description of a figure fitting Valdice, was not that far away, about a day's worth of travel from when he last saw him. Afterwards, Hersian would approach the bar and order a drink, one that even the bartender, with a look of shock, asked if he was sure he wanted. Hersian would insist, and in doing so, take about half a shot's worth of clear liquid. Somehow able to stomach it, Hersian would, after a bit of goading from the others, would order a second, this time a double. The bartender would oblige, and after drinking, Hersian would feel good for a few moments, even drawing from his heritage to kind of let out a small puff of flame following the drink. To the others, though, you would see Hersian suddenly stiff up and, like a felled tree, drop, slamming into the ground unconscious. The rest of you would escort him to his room, laying him to sleep, and each go your own way through the course of the evening. Escucho would attempt to sneak into the room of the other individual at the rest house, foregoing the customs of these rest houses in the first place. Ignis would have definitely thought for a moment that Hersian was dead, Escucho saved by the fact that he couldn't pick the lock as he hid and watched a figure leave before making his way inside, finding the corpse of the individual that he had been watching and the book he was scouring over left behind. Sorry, the book being gone. Shad, you would spend the night poring over the rune, attempting to recreate it until at some point through the evening, you'd finally get it right. Etching the rune into an inanimate object was never going to work, but it would leave behind a magical kind of sense. And you knew that if you had done this on the right body or corpse, considering the way you've seen it used, it absolutely would have worked. And so, after a long evening's rest, in which case I think you could actually go ahead and give yourself, or at least take a rest for the night. I'm not sure if we did it last time, but either way, I think it would be fine to do so. Okay, perfect. Yeah, just to make sure the spell slots are taken care of, all that stuff is revamped for your path forward. And feel free to change up your spell list, right? Obviously. And so, let's see. All right, let's go ahead and get some music going, and we will roll into the scenario.
Do we get to assume we've done any like preparations or anything beforehand? Like it's a full day of rest, so if it's after level up, would we have been able to do like what the daily preparation thing was?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anything, any changes to the spell list that you might want to make or anything like that, feel free to do because
I'll do like I think remember what Tom had? He had the daily elixirs that disappeared after a day. So my talismans disappear after a day, but I'm gonna make 2 talismans for 24 hours.
All right.
So I'll just add those into inventory. These are 2 common talismans from the core rulebook, half level. So it's level 1 for me.
Level 1 max. Okay.
Level 1 max, yeah. Level 1 common talismans. Okay. So it's going to be a potency crystal and I think maybe a wolf fang. So these are. I'll add them in, put the descriptions in.
Yeah, feel free to add them, and then I can take a look at them really quick. But yeah, so the 2 of you awaken after a decent night's rest. Starting to take care, right, your daily preparations, whether that be preparing the spells that you have intent to use for the remainder of the day, or in your case Ignis, right, preparing these talismans, right, in order to kind of hand them out or make use of them yourself, but in any case, so each one of you kind of in your own time will rest in what you have are solo rooms, right? So you are not having to worry about like other people inside them, right? It's just you, a nice room, a decent bed, and a small desk with a chair, should you have to do any writing or anything along those lines. So as you rest and kind of wake up, take care of your daily preparations, one by one, you will all kind of come to. I'll say, despite them not being here, Escucho and Hercian would, kind of stumble. Well, Hercian especially kind of stumbles out, makes his way until, as the morning kind of passes, you would all 4 kind of reconvene in the common room of the rest house. As you make your way out, the familiar bartender from last evening, kind of laughing, seeing Hercian enter, right? And you all kind of join a table, and breakfast is automatically brought over. A collection of, cured meats, some cooked, some, just smoked eggs, things of that nature are kind of laid out for you all. This all comes with the price that Ignis had already paid, right? The 2 gold covered the rooms, breakfast, drinks, everything. So don't even have to order it. It is just simply brought out and placed a large platter. So as the 4 of you kind of reconvene, I'll say, for the sake Hmm. I can't ask him, unfortunately, but I'll say that maybe Escucho is unable. Escucho probably won't inform you of the issue from last evening. I don't think.
It kind of makes sense because he's already kind of grown distrustful of one or two of us, and he's just
exactly.
It makes sense for him to keep it like keep the information themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, keeping it close to the chest. Yeah. So.
He was getting quite buddy with Hersham, but not with the other two. Not
exactly.
impressed.
Yeah.
So Ignis is just gonna probably like take the cold shoulder as like, yeah, you know what, that's okay. If you want to talk to me, I'm good. It's all right.
Shad just won't notice it.
Yeah, Shad is a socially unaware being. Yeah. But Shad, you do inform the others, at least from what you heard from Daniel from the evening prior, right? Valdice not being too far. That's your ultimate, right? That's your ultimate target during all of this. Do you share the soldier being attacked by the Lord in passing?
Oh yeah, and
okay.
Mention it's on the other side of Valdice, because the site of that battle was 2 days away.
Indeed.
He said that the guy was only a day away.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So, yeah. So as Shad informs you, Ignis, is there anything?
So Shad informs Ignis gonna take in the information. He's gonna basically be matter of fact about this and just, well, we've closed some of the distance, so it makes sense we should close the distance even further. We have, I don't know how you got that information out of him. Congratulations, but that's useful. That'll be useful for us. I think we've rested up. We're ready to roll. Hersin's alive, which is also good news for everyone. So I think we should say our farewells for now and get going. And I think with the gold we've paid on the way back, we can probably just grab a half day's rest as well if we need. Like, we can ask the innkeeper on the way back if we take the same route. So
okay,
let's just head out, I think.
Fair enough. Okay. So with all of that, you enjoy a bit of a hearty breakfast. You ask the innkeeper if the 2 gold will be enough, to, in passing on your return, would that be, good enough to set you up for some more rooms? And yeah, the bartender or the rest house kind of keeper will give you a nod. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem, as long as we have the room, right?
That's fair. That's fair.
So you all one by one kind of make your exit. You find the horses have been taken care of,
Mafia style.
Yeah,
taking care of the horses.
Yeah. Yeah, they've actually been killed and murdered, and the body is laid out in front of you. You wake up with the horse in the bed, the horse's head in the bed, I should say. No, but no. So yeah, they've been taken care of. They've been fed, they've been watered, and they've been brushed. They look, completely clean. Like they've been, they've had the full, almost like a luxury treatment, right, to set them up for the continued travel. And so you all jump back onto the wagon after making sure that everything in the back was left as is, and it was. Nothing has been disturbed, right? All the rations, or whatever items that you would have left behind, the 3 tents are all still there. They look completely undisturbed, as if, nobody even bothered to take a look at them. So you all jump back on, and with a final look, the rest house is now in the past as you continue your path forward. While this is happening, Escucho and Hersian are probably a bit scattered as far as what's going on with them. Hersian is very much doctoring the the headache from the evening priors. And
Shad will be singing very loudly some sort of Juris Mountains folk song.
Okay. A folk song for the travel, right? Yeah, so illuminating the others to this.
Can we understand the dialect or the words? is a question.
Probably not, because it would be in sort of Bogian, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I guess it would be in Vogan. So if your character doesn't have that as a language, you probably don't understand it. But it, it sounds.
Yeah, Ekros doesn't understand at all. He's just.
And Shell will keep looking at the other two and sort of like gesture with his hands, to join in with singing words that they don't understand.
Are you singing to the horses? Does it help them?
Why? Certainly it does.
Yeah, it certainly helps the horses.
Too confused to argue. You know what?
Yeah.
This...
Yeah. Too confused. Either way, yeah, you sing the song of your people, right?
He's singing. There's a suggestion in chat. I can't leave it alone.
The song of Alvin. Okay,
That's
all right.
the one.
There we go. Yeah, so you're singing the song of Alvin and the way he slayed the.
And he took the beast in both of his hands, and he pulled and he pulled and he pulled. And he pulled.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah. Perfect. That'll be included in the lyrics whenever we get them written up. Yeah. And so, yeah, singing the song loudly, kind of proclaiming it. It actually kind of disturbs the wildlife a bit. And so, the two of you go ahead and give me perception checks. As you travel along, we'll say the hours kind of roll past, right? First into the second.
Oh my god! Again.
Completely. Yeah.
It's just the song is just screwing up his inner ear.
Absolutely. Yeah. The singing from Shad is just absolutely, like. The fact that he could sing for this song, like this long, right? This has been a couple hours in, and Shad is not letting up. And actually, we'll say that the song of Alvin is actually just this long. He is only singing it once. He's not repeating certain parts or anything along those lines. It is just an hour to 2 hour long ballad, right? Huge tale of a singing version of Alvin's deeds.
He doesn't understand a word of.
That he doesn't understand a word of. Absolutely, he doesn't understand a word of, unfortunately. Which, I mean, maybe to the benefit, maybe to the negative. It kind of depends. But either way, it is just filling your mind, and for the length of time that it's been going on, right? It's like being on a car ride where just like the regular sound of the road basically kind of lulls you into this state of just not really caring, and you're not the driver, right? So you're not having to focus on the road or anything like that. But Shad, despite you singing and kind of being focused on singing this ballad and telling the tale, this part of the path kind of opens up, right? More open wide fields to either side. The tree line is not directly on the side of the road anymore, so you've got some space around you. You're no longer kind of worried about some sort of ambush from right next to the road. Like you'll have the sight to see quite a bit around you, and so with that, with a 16, there's a moment in the ballad where you kind of stop, and maybe there's a few points here where, like, in the ballad, you're meant to stop, right, to kind of let the weight of the previous words kind of settle in for a moment before continuing and kicking it back off. And so Ignis, just as when you think it's finally over, right, Shad, you kick right back into the ballad, and it seems that momentary quietness, and then jumping back into it, Shad, the tree, there's a small tree that is kind of a lone tree, right? Just settled in along the road. The branches of it will suddenly kind of shift and shake as a large bird-like creature kind of escapes out. On first glance, Shad, This is a very strange sight to see, because this is actually a songbird. This should be a very small bird. Every time you've ever seen one of these, it's, you know, they're small enough to kind of fit in the palm of your hand. But the bird that now kind of, you know, jumps out of the tree is about the size of an owl, right? A large owl, wingspan. I mean, this is a massive songbird. And your singing has kind of...
Look at that fat fucker over there.
What? Huh?
Look at that fat fucker. He shouldn't be that big.
Yeah. Drawing attention to it, Ignis, you see it, you spot it, and you're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Yeah.
Can I try and inspect it and figure out what it should be?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Nature. Let me try nature.
Yeah. Let's try a nature check, because based on the looks of it, right? The songbirds of this region tend to have, you know, a pretty distinct look to them, and this seems to be matching that. That is unfortunate.
Oh God.
But I will say, as a local, we'll give you like a +2 circumstantial bonus, right? And these are birds that you would have seen plenty of times, right? As you are familiar with the
region, I guess. Yeah,
the region.
Path.
So we'll say we'll bump that up from a 9 to an 11, and the 10 is all you needed. So as you see it kind of escape the tree, this is a typical kind of Valdiran songbird, but it is huge, fully grown. Again, this would only fit basically in the palm of your hand, right? Like a small little bird. You'd have to use like a single finger to kind of to pet it, to give it like a pet. But the one that escapes from this tree is again like the size of a large owl, right? The wingspan of it probably about 3 feet or so, 2 to 3 feet, and it quickly kind of flaps out. And you have never seen any of these birds ever in your life grow even, in any way close to the figure that you see escape from this tree.
Out of character for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can do maybe a slight rollback. There's something I thought of in the week and I completely forgot to mention it before. Before we left that inn, Shad, knowing that we were about a day or so away, bearing in mind we were on a cart, he was going to go to the innkeeper and see if they had any old barrels and sacks and stuff like that, your containers that he could procure for the cart.
Okay.
And store these reagents that we plan on gathering.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll say that's definitely something that would have been a possibility. How much coin do you have?
I have 1 gold, 3 silver, and 8 copper. I'll drop it all on that.
Yeah. Let's say. Yeah, I'll say you don't have to use it all. I'll say 3 silver is enough to procure like 2 relatively decent sized barrels and a couple of sacks that you could freely kind of stuff full.
Okay, I've dropped the copper off. Drop the silver off.
No problem. Okay. Yeah. So.
Making up that for the card.
So Ignis, seeing this bird, right? This unnaturally huge songbird. What is your reaction?
The hell? That's supposed to be tiny. It's not supposed to be that big. So we know the Solemn's supposed to be passing by and causing things to grow, but is he supposed to have an effect on creatures and wildlife as well?
I wouldn't know, but it could be one of his chickens.
That's a songbird. It's not a chicken.
No. The guy I was talking to, he said something about the guy dragging a box. It started bumping and scratching inside. It sounded like he was taking his chickens with him. And the guy,
In a
The guy-
coffin.
What coffin? No. He apparently is very healthy. No, he he didn't have any sort of chest complaint at all. No, but this guy must have been scared of chickens because he said he was awful fearful near him. It seemed a bit odd to myself, but that could be one of his chickens.
I don't know what to say to that, except he's not. It's a coffin. He's carrying a coffin, not
No,
a
I
chest ailment.
don't think he's ill.
I'm gonna tap his mask twice. Like, are you sure words go through that mask? Can you hear me right now?
Yes, you said he was coughing. No, he never mentioned him about being sick.
Carrying a coffin, not exhaling. Carrying a physical object that you bury people in. Aren't you a good undertaker or grave? Didn't you? What did you bury people in? In ditches?
In the ground.
Just without caskets? Just as is?
I'm a gravedigger for the common man.
You know what? Sure. I mean, the common man probably doesn't get caskets, but they don't. They do get a wooden box, don't they?
For the chickens.
Did the chicken hurt you in a past life?
No, I'm not scared of chickens. You know, I think we're getting off the subject here.
Yes.
Should we go and catch the chicken?
Was what? Escucho could technically, but I think him and Hercian are otherwise occupied at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I could have him. I could control the characters if it's like simple stuff, something that just won't.
If it's just like, because I think Escucho has a bow, or does he?
Let me take a look. He does not. Yeah.
Oh, he has a dagger. See, Chad's got. I mean, how far away is the song chicken from us?
Probably about 20 feet up in the air.
20 feet.
You're kind of like passing right by it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. In that case, has Shad got time to ready his sling and get a shot off?
Sure. Yeah.
Actually, can I try something? Can I try commanding an animal?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
shoot it at the same time and see who works first.
I'll say let's roll 1d2. Or
I'll tell you what. No, the way to do this is we both roll initiative, don't we?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Just to see who goes first.
Yeah, just to see first. Yeah. We'll see.
I can't roll unless we're in combat. I think not on the character sheet.
It's basically a perception check anyway. So
yeah, let's roll perception. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if we use any bullshit, then I'll just do it.
Alright. Well, Ignis is a 13. You got to beat a 13 to see if you go first.
Nope.
Oh, nope. All right. So, Ignis, you've got the first chance at this. So as you pass by and you see this large songbird, and actually, as it kind of starts to beat its wings and starts to start to kind of ascend and start to fly away for a moment, it'll start to sing, right? And the song that this bird song sings is so much louder and so much more kind of I guess like potent, right? As the song fills the air with this high kind of screeching sound, and so what do you do as you get the Shad is kind of reaching back, kind of quickly trying to pull out the sling, to kind of capture this creature of some sort, but you just being yourself, what do you do?
Hold out his Ignis is gonna hold out his hand. He's gonna do that elemental embellish, although not to intimidate, but mostly just like some light shower of sparks or something to attract the bird.
Okay.
Maybe just try to make a shape kind of just like vaguely bird shaped, so it gets and tries to see what the thing is, and if it succeeds, then he's just gonna say just stop or just hold on, something like that.
Okay.
There is command an animal as a specific action, I think. Like it's a nature check against the animal's will DC.
All right, so better roll me that nature check. Yeah, the will DC of something like this. What would that even be? I would say then, yeah, command an animal.
Oh, it's auditory. So I guess maybe instead of doing the embellish, she's just gonna like snap his fingers or whistle and be like, "Come here" or something. Because I just realized it's an auditory. So like yeah, so he's not gonna do like a physical embellishment. Just maybe he's gonna try and mimic the whistle a little bit, and get it to stop, and just kind of come towards him. I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of mimic the bird song for a moment, right? You know, and in doing so, and I'll say a 12 is enough. The bird kind of momentarily kind of like heading up, and then it kind of turns and swoops down and will come down to the wagon and kind of just stop and settle itself along the edge of the wagon, right? Kind of just stops there and kind of looks around, you know, like a bird would. You know, not necessarily under your command, but interested in what is happening here.
It'd be a good time to have some bird seed. Elbow Shad a little bit. Like, do you have seeds? Something you could lure this thing with?
Oh, we've got time.
Say
It's already at the wagon.
He has got some rations.
Yeah, we'll say you can spend one ration, and we'll say that.
Wait a minute. Last before we all went to bed, Shad had been spending the evening pocketing snacks off the bar, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Get a bar snacks.
Yeah.
So he's literally got handfuls of peanuts.
Yeah. So you offer some peanuts over.
Like, crush them up a little bit and then just like sprinkle the edge of the wagon.
Okay, so you offer some over. And the large bird seems interested. We'll kind of start to pick at them, kind of eating them. And continues to sing, right? Continues to sing this loud kind of bird song, but now it's a lot more pleasant, even though it's still much louder than you're ever used to because of the size of this creature. It's still nice and pleasant and kind of goes along without bothering you. It's no longer like that screech initially. As the bird kind of picks at the peanuts, is there anything else you're trying to do?
Okay, what can we learn from this bird? I'm making a meta assumption that it's something to do with the guy dragging his portable chicken coop up the road.
Indeed.
But I suppose I could do something like an occultism check to
I'd say
work out why this is so big.
Yeah, occultism, arcana, to see if they're like, because this definitely isn't natural even at first sight. If you've seen these birds before, you've never seen something like this. So I'll say that arcana or occultism would work in this scenario.
I forget, can I help him in this? Because I'm trained in both. So
you could. Yeah,
so in this case I guess I'll just,
I think the help action, let me see if I'm not mistaken,
you've got to roll for the help action, because if you get failures, that actually goes against my rolls, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to
roll for help.
Yeah, it's an aid check. Yeah. Basically, you attempt a skill check of whatever type. So in this case, it would be occultism. And you're looking to beat it. And depending on the level of your success, you'll give them a circumstance bonus to their check.
I mean,
yeah, Chris.
You gonna go for it, or shall I just go without? I have got +5 on Arcana.
I think you should go ahead. I've got a +4, but my rolls are dicey, so yeah.
Yeah, but you know how this is gonna go now.
Actually, you know what? No, I do. No, it's fine.
I've done it.
I'll
I've done it.
next time.
Okay.
That's pretty good though.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, taking a look, obviously there's something very strange about this large songbird, right? Absolutely unnatural. You take a look, and as you you can't it never lets you get close enough to, like, fully wrap your arms around it or grab a hold of it. But even at this distance, I mean, it looks like the perfect recreation of a smaller songbird, just many times larger.
Doctor, I don't think this is a chicken after all.
Jesus.
Took you that long. So what do we do with it?
Well, it's quite a lot bigger than what we usually see, and this seems to gel into what we've learned about this guy that's taking his chickens to that other place.
You just said it wasn't a chicken.
I did say this was one of his chickens.
Oh my god.
It's not even a chicken.
Yes.
So we may be close. That's what I'm getting at.
In this I agree with you. So, what's our course of action? We should keep moving onwards, or do we? The route hasn't changed. The route's still going straight.
I say we carry on, but now we should be looking out at the plant life and things like that. We've got plenty of stuff that we could just haul off and start ripping it out of the ground and throwing it in the sacks and the barrels I got from that place.
I think that's not a bad idea, but we can't waste too much time doing that because we do want to get closer before we start doing it. My assumption would be his magic is more potent the shorter the duration is. Like, it probably loses potency with time, right? I'm making an assumption here. The closer we are to him, the better the quality of the product we'll be able to harvest.
Alright, well, it's something that boy Daniel said to me. He said, preceding him, there's nothing but death. And following him, there's an abundance of life. Or something like that. I could have heard it entirely wrong.
Pretty accurate.
Sounds ominous, but it is an opportunity for us. And I think we should, if we see anything on the way, we'll make a quick stop. But if not, we should, at least, if he's 1 day away, we should be at least 3/4 of a day ahead. So we can get better quality reagents. Instead of whatever commonplace items are just growing woolly-nilly.
Yeah, also something to take note of. This was a day away by walking, essentially, right?
Yeah.
You are on wagon, right? So you get the feeling that you'll probably, you get the feeling, at least based on the description so far, that you are closing in. So,
but you never know. He might be happy to meet someone on the road who will buy his chickens.
You're welcome to go greet His Eminence. I'm just going to do the job that I need to do to keep my orders safe or prosperous. I mean, you don't want to end up dead. If everything preceding him is death, I'm not sure going off to say hi is a wise or sane course of action. Although, you know what, I'm not sure those apply to you most of the time, so you are free to do as you wish.
Maybe if we stand behind him and just shout. We'll never know. Let's find out when to get there. Off we go. Gee up, yeehaw!
All right. So, without having anything else to do with this songbird, it'll finish up the peanuts left to it, and then it will, kind of take a look around its surroundings, and then quickly kind of, flap its wings and ascend off and into the distance. So, as you travel ahead another couple of hours, go ahead and give me 2 more perception checks.
On the 14.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. finally, with his singing over, right, for the time being, Ignis, yeah, you continue to travel, but finally, as the song, the ballad of Alvin, is told and finished, and Shad needs a bit to rest his voice, right, from beginning the next tale of his people. So, Ignis, on the path, you see something that immediately catches your attention. Basically, you crest over a hill, and then looking down, you can actually see a large strip of land that is in extreme abundance compared to the surroundings of it, right? The grass is so much taller, like it, the flowers in bloom are so much more vibrant, so much like fully in bloom, whereas like others around it, just kind of wildflowers, right? Herbs and things like that, all along this strip. And if you could, seeing this at a distance, give me a nature check.
Yep, one sec.
Well, say nature or survival, right? Whichever you feel.
None of those.
Yeah, I mean, I am trained in nature. But...
Okay, we'll do nature then. Oh, there we go. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, this is how we'll play it, right? So as you alert the others to the presence of this like strip of land, you're like, oh, look at that, and you go to like you kind of go to squint your eyes and get a look at it, but then Shad kind of leans over like, oh, what is that? And he kind of blocks the way as he kind of leans out. Shad, you see amongst this your second nat one of the session, that's a roughie, amongst all of this like abundant growth of life, there are, even at this distance you can pick them out, there are a number of components here that would be quite valuable to harvest, and they are growing in abundance and at a size much larger than you would typically find them in the wild. So,
would you look at that, Doctor, over there?
Yeah. A clear indication.
Can you move your cloak from my eyes? I can't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, sorry about that. And he'll shove his shovel blade in front of his face instead as he leans the other way.
Yeah. A clear indication of the fact that you are on the path of Valdice.
Well, you're right. We have the path now. We just have to follow it. He was on foot, so we should be able to catch up.
Well, what did you think, Doctor? Is it worth taking, I don't know, 30 minutes to see if we can sweep up some of this stuff?
Sure. Yeah, let's. We will stay on the path though. Just quickly get us.
Certainly, stay on the road. So yeah, we're doing that. We just do a roll to see if we can grab a load of stuff in 30 minutes before getting back on the track. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, so you rush on down, maybe with a sack, right?
Yeah.
Pull the cart over for just a moment. And you head on down.
Is it just Shad doing this, or are we doing this collectively?
I think
that's what I'm asking.
all four of us can, like both of them can be as well. Like, I think for both.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, guys can help as well. Like, just pat the horses and just quickly see if there's anything worth taking.
Is there any way I can deceive the reagents into jumping in this sack?
I'm actually going to say that they are grown in such an abundance that you do not have to make a check. You just head on down and you just start to pull them, right from the ground, shaking off what bit of dirt you can, right? Or maybe cutting them if you have the appropriate, just using like a blade, a dagger of some sort, just kind of cutting them down at the root and just immediately kind of starting to pack them into the various sacks and Well, we'll say that there's a sack. Like there's a sack for everybody, and then there's two larger barrels that are left in the wagon, right? Since
I think
since a
like
quick stop,
we can just we just like use sacks, like fill up sacks by hand and just dump them in the barrel on the wagon.
Oh yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Instead of like it's just easier because we're doing it by hand. So
So should we say that this one fills one barrel?
Yeah, since it's 4 people doing it, I'll say that this one, with a quick 30-minute spent, right, you easily fill up 1 barrel. Yeah. Kind of maybe even packing a barrel, right? As you each dump a large sack in, one after the other. By the third, it becomes very clear, right, that not all of the fourth is going to fit, like if you were to just let it kind of, sit naturally. So you kind of have to push them down just a bit to kind of get the final seal on these the wagon, the barrel. Yeah, and you feel that this is definitely packed, quite full of various regions and natural regions used both for medicinal but also spellcasting purposes.
Well, that seems highly productive. Shall we move on a little?
Yes, let's.
Okay. All right. So you jump back in, and you can see the path as you jump back into the wagon. You can see that it continues on, and the way you're traveling, it is right next to you the entire time. Yeah. It's always there, always present. And yeah, every time you give it a look, it has the abundance of these regions and such. And it seems like it feels like it, based on the way it looks, that you are some of the first people here to get involved and get, able to start collecting a lot of this. And so far you just have a single barrel full. As you travel along, it gets to the point where it kind of it gets really close to the cart, right? We'll say that like initially it's like off in kind of like a field, right? You have to pull over and run to it, but it starts to kind of edge closer and closer to you, and you're getting near a stream. Those of you who have traveled this path have experienced this a number of times, right? There's a small stream that you typically have to cross over to continue your path towards Terius. And so it gets to a point where these regions, this abundance of life, is actually on the main road itself. And you can see where it's been run over, right, where carts have passed through, with no purpose or mention for like what it is, right? Just kind of just passing by. It doesn't look like anything has been collected from here, or none of it has been made use of. Just kind of
while we're still moving and we are running over the stuff that's in the road, would it be possible for Shad to sort of hang off the back and sort of be grabbing handfuls while they're still moving?
Yeah, for sure. With that, I say give me an athletics or an acrobatics.
Both of these are probably terrible at me.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Be able to hang off the wagon, kind of leaning down, grabbing, in passing.
Is athletics a thing on this?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Your athletics is a -1 and your acrobatics is a 0.
Oh yes, so it is. Yes, we'll go for acrobatics.
So
tunnel vision. Do we do athletics? No, we'll go for acrobatics.
We'll go for acrobatics.
Oh, 4.
4. Okay.
He gets 4 strands.
So yeah, if only you were so lucky. As you attempt to hang off the side and kind of reach down and grab a few, the arm that is holding onto the wagon itself, the wagon will hit a small bump in the road, and actually you'll lose your grip and you'll go tumbling out, slamming into the ground, kind of shaken up a bit by the by the ground itself, and you'll take 3 points of damage. So,
bollocks!
He's just gonna look back and he's like, "Do you need help back there?" And he's just gonna see Chad just tumble out.
Yeah, I'll say
like,
thankfully
hold
you're
the
not
horses.
run over by the wagon itself, right? You're able to avoid the wheels coming over yourself. You just kind of.
I figured he was at the back rather than at the front.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
that's what I thought as well. Like he's
Yeah.
just gonna like just pull the reins so the horses come to a stop.
Let's reflavor that damage. He doesn't hurt himself from the fall. He falls into a pile of affected nettles.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. You fall, you fall in. Like, oh shit, and yeah, and so as the wagon stops and you take a few moments, maybe in a bit of a, not a grudge, but in doing, as you kind of get up and wipe yourself off, you approach to jump back on, and I'll say like in passing you see a few that you're able to kind of quickly grab handfuls of and kind of stuff them in your in the cloak pockets or what have you, right?
Yeah, no, we'll have that as personal inventory then. So
Yeah.
he's got oh, should we say, like that pouch that he gave back to Lorenzo, should we say he's got one of those?
Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah.
And he's gonna say to Doctor, did you see that? He came out of nowhere and knocked me off the wagon.
You did? Yes, you definitely knocked yourself off the wagon. Can we get moving now? Do you need to heal yourself? I know some scratches on your cloak.
No, I'm quite all right.
I'm more than happy to try and heal you.
No, I'd rather keep moving. You pronounced a man dead last night.
yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna sigh and then just like get the horses back on track.
All right, so you get back on track, and you are there. There's an abundance of this stuff, right? I mean, you are the first ones here, so you're able to take advantage of that if you wish. So
we stopping then.
Well, that's
Nice.
That would be the question, right? Because I guess
Or do we want him in sight?
Yeah, some of them have. Yeah, we'll say all right. So there, I guess, our interest in the party, right, to see Valdice, right, and then some people are just like, let's just get the shit and let's just head back, right. As soon as you have that second barrel full, I mean, that's so much, right? That is so much value in and of itself that you could essentially just be like, okay, we're done, and we turn around and head back.
I mean, I think Ignis is still like, he's somewhat confident that like the barrels are gonna get filled, so he still wants to at least get a view of the solemn if he can. At least like maybe not like, again, not like Shad's thinking just go up and say hi, but at least get within viewing distance to see what the effect is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Even though that represents a possible danger, he's still maybe not completely, maybe slightly misplaced confidence in himself, but he does think he can like see and gather some information, and that might be something that'll help him gain some standing with the order when he gets back.
Yeah, essentially, right? Because I mean, it's not often that one comes across a solemn in the first place, but even when they do, it tends to be in a lot of cases that most solemns are just, long-lived, weaker individuals. A solemn of Valdice's stature, at least in rumor and story. 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. A solemn of Valdice's stature, at least in story or tale, is very, very uncommon, right? Not many people ever get to meet or see them in person. So I guess maybe there is a bit of that interest. And feeling confident because there's plenty enough of it. Even if you were to crest this final hill and he was right there, there would still be plenty of it. More than enough to fill 10 barrels, right? If you really wanted to, on the way back, as long as you're the first, right? Before the major crowd starts to get here and starts gathering, you would have a major abundance.
I guess Ignis is gonna tell Shad something to the effect of, it's I think we are still one of the earliest groups to have come this far, at least with the specific purpose of collecting these things. And we've got a barrel. We'll probably fill out these two. Any more will be hard to defend on the way back if we get ambushed. And I am, not to tempt fate, but we haven't actually encountered any resistance or any signs of hostile activity immediately. So while we have the advantage, it might be useful to see if we can actually get a view of Valdice and get some information, at least from a distance, and then head back. We should be careful about on the way back that there will be people who may not be favorably disposed towards us and may want to take what we have. So I don't want to take too much, because 2 barrels, maybe 3 barrels is defendable. Anything more, I don't know that we could properly defend.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I'm not opposed to it at all, Doctor. Maybe we could buy one of his chickens. Can you imagine the eggs those things lay?
You are free to talk to him at your leisure, but I will take the wagon back at full speed.
That's very magnanimous of you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
We won't be waiting for you. You'll have to catch up if you tarry too long.
So, I would say when you did stop, right? When you stopped, the horses kind of grazed for a moment, right, on the fresh, kind of abundant growth underneath.
Supercharged.
And so,
actually, is anything happening to the horses? Are they like getting shredded?
So, well, no, yeah. So what I'll say is, as they start to eat, right, and kind of graze for a few moments, and then Shad, you jump back on, and you get the horses kind of rein back in and starting to go. They pull with a newfound strength to them.
This is Callum's horses, isn't it?
What's that?
You remember that image that?
Oh
Callum.
yeah.
Oh yeah. The small
100%.
horse.
Yeah, 100%. They're not growing. They're not right huge, right? They're not like physically growing in front of your eyes, because they only got a few bites in, but they are definitely stronger and a bit faster, and and kind of almost like a resurge of energy, right? Because they've been traveling for a bit already. It seems like they're fresh horses ready to go, right? And so they pull, and you start to get going, and you are moving at a faster pace than previously, and it seems like the horses are perfectly fine with this. And so wanting to at least get in sight of this solemn, right? At least get eyes on them. Maybe not interact with them directly, anything along those lines, but at the very least, get a look. You crest a hill that kind of leads up and to the right, right? And as you kind of reach the top and start to go over, looking down, you see the other side of this hill kind of dips down into a little bit of a low valley, with the stream passing through it. And the two of you need to give me more perception checks. Okay, so thankfully, the two of you see, as you crest over, and I'm gonna say Escucho, based just a kind of like on a passive perception of some sort, right? He immediately pulls the reins to a stop, and the horses immediately come to a dead stop. As you look down into the valley below, the path that you have to take to continue traveling crosses over this small stream, but standing at the stream, of which you have considerable distance from. I'm gonna say, if we're at the very least, you're probably about 80, to, let's see, yeah, you're about 80 to 90 feet away from it, right? So you have some considerable distance to it. There is a huge furred beast standing and drinking at the water's edge. At this distance, it has what looks to be like out of its back, like jagged, piercing, like dark black, almost like spines, right? Kind of erupting from its back. It is huge. It stands large. Its back is facing you, so it doesn't like immediately see you and look up at you or anything along those lines. So from this angle, it looks very similar to the black bears that you had seen the previous evening. But with everything you've seen lately, you know, what eating just a few bites has done to the horses, what, you know, whatever happened to that songbird, based on the size of this creature, you assume that it's actually something smaller, made huge by the recent, you know, the eating of the of the abundant of life left behind in Valdice's wake.
It's a squirrel, isn't it?
Shad's gonna not be quite as loud as usual. Oh, doctor, you still want to take a look at this fella?
I'm looking, and it's just been sitting here eating this whole time, like.
Yeah, it's big. It's kind of haunched down. Its head is like almost entirely underwater as the stream passes by. You assume it's getting a drink.
Does it look like it's got a box of chickens with it?
That's not the solemn. But it is something.
Really?
Yeah. It is on all fours, right? So it is not bipedal. Whatever the word is.
Quadruped.
Yeah, quadruped. Yeah. So yeah, it is kind of on all fours, leaned down, haunched over. And I'll say, as you're kind of talking amongst yourself, the head will kind of lift up out of the water. It'll lean its head back, and you see what looks to be like a large snout. At this point, it looks like either like that bear, or it looks like a massive wolf. But it doesn't have all the same features. But as it kind of tilts its head back, it has a fish in its mouth, and it's just chomping down on it and just like crushing it and eating it all in a single kind of large bite.
Oh shit, I think we need to turn this circus around right now.
I don't think turning around is going to help necessarily. I mean, just what was the thing again? Stay still, no sudden movements.
Oh, when you played dead, it was very effective.
I was dead.
Really?
That's pretty good.
I think. How are the horses doing?
They're stopped. They're full stop.
Are they tense, panicky, or like? Do they like? Can we?
Not so far. No, not yet.
Okay.
So
the horses are like
we
slightly.
let the horses eat some of this stuff, and they'll get big arse as well.
Yeah,
and
the
maybe
horses
they
have.
can fight the thing.
No, the horses have been eating for like a half hour. That thing's been eating for days. It looks like.
No. The horses only ate like literally 1 or 2 mouthfuls.
Yeah. So whatever. Like they've just been grazing a little bit on the way, like snacking. Like. So maybe they'll run a little faster for a little bit. I have no idea. But it's not gonna be. It's not going to be like the bears or whatever this is. Can you actually try and get a grip on what the animal actually was?
Yeah, can we do some sort of check either?
Yeah, I think
Can
this
I try
would be
nature?
Yeah, I think this would be nature. Yeah.
Great. We're both doing a nature check, or
Yeah, the both of you could. It's up to you if you want to.
Oh, thank
after that
God.
point.
I know I rolled, and
I just want to see.
All right.
I think it's some kind of animal.
Yeah, it's some kind of animal, exactly. But
brilliant.
Ignis, as you get a look at this, and you're like, it suddenly kind of dawns on you, like, holy fuck, I know exactly what this is. This is a giant wolverine. As it sits at the water's edge, this is much bigger than you've ever seen them, in your life. For this region, right, wolverines tend to be,
like they're badger size, right? Like not,
like a badger,
just...
like a badger-sized creature of some sort. I think. Yeah, let's do the actual. We'll do the actual size of a wolverine. Yeah, so typically, right, they're about 1.5 feet, right? Maybe a bit longer if you include the tail, but maybe roughly 20 to 40 pounds depending on the size, but this one is quite literally, in comparison with those brown bears from the previous evening, comparable in size.
So, okay, just offhand, so it's gonna be like, let's say, the size of 2 horses or 4 horses if we squish them together.
This
bear's about the size of a horse, isn't it?
Yeah, about the size of a horse. Yeah.
The size of a horse.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, definitely not as tall, right? Much lower to the ground.
Yeah.
But
like, very, again, these are like, they're huge. Low animals. But
yeah.
He's just gonna put his palm to his forehead and go like, "This thing is supposed to be. It's a wolverine. These are."
Let me give you some more.
Yeah.
Let me give you some more information about him, right? So what you would know, because you rolled the 21. Sorry. These creatures, at least typically, are fiercely territorial, and not only that, but they have a huge area of land that they claim to be their territory, right? So, if it is here, it is either making this area its territory, or you are in its territory. But yeah, they are very vicious and very strong generally, and this one you see is fucking huge, right? So yeah, but you only see it from the back, I should say, right? You only see it from the back as it's leaned over, right? You saw a momentary kind of look to it as it reared its head back and finished eating that fish, and then kind of dipped its head back down into the water. But the one thing that is different about this is the spines that are kind of erupting out of its back. That is something you've never seen before on any type of wolverine creature in this region.
Mm-hmm. Are these do they look like bony spines, or
like black bony spines? Yep.
Okay.
Sharp at the points, right?
I'm going to make a suggestion that we try and stealth turn the cart around and go away using a scoot show stealth.
Using a scoot show
stealth. Does scoot stealth apply to like vehicles?
Shh! What are you doing, Ice?
Yeah, I don't think it does. I mean, we could try.
No, I'm only messing.
Oh, you know what? What if we just popped out one of those tents we got from that place earlier, and tried to lure it into the tent? I'm assuming there's something weird going on with the tent, so maybe if it gets into the tent, maybe the tent will take care of the problem for us.
Well, let me get this straight, Doctor. You, in front of this scary beastie in front of us, you want to pitch a tent. I may not essentially put up a tent.
Yeah.
Look, I'm still grappling.
Trap the big scary beastie.
I'm trying to grapple with the fact that this big scary beastie is supposed to be the size of a small dog.
Yeah.
Except, unlike small dogs, it is extremely territorial and will literally chew your face off at its size. So, you scale that up to something this size, I'm assuming it thinks its territory is this entire continent, and it will happily eat our horses on the hoof. I'm open to suggestions, because I have no idea what to do with that.
As you're having this conversation, the wolverine will rear its head back, and at a distance you see what it is doing. It lifts its head up into the air, and it starts to sniff at the air. And
Oh shit! I think it knows we're here.
it's looking around side to side. It doesn't seem to have gotten. It seems to have gotten a smell, right? But it's not looking back at you just yet. But you can tell it's like looking for something, right? It's swaying its head back and forth. It's more focused on the stream right in front of it. But given this moment, what are you looking to do?
I mean, being able to escape would be useful, but I don't think we can outrun something of this size. It's not so much the size; it's the speed. Like again, it's fast as a small animal. I'm sure it's still fast now.
Yeah.
We're not. A wagon is now outrunning it.
You know, Doctor, I'd be happy just being back on the other side of this ridge.
Yeah.
So would I, but do we reverse gently and hope it doesn't notice?
I think it's going to notice eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be emitting some gases that it might notice quite soon. In fact,
I thought people shit themselves, not get
fart
flatulent.
themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
well, let's just say, if I stood up too quickly, I might pick up this seat.
Yes. So.
But hey, weren't you the one who was on board with trying to find the solemn? Again, this is a straight line through. The fastest way is going to be through.
I was quite happy just to gather. I thought you wanted to see the guy. I just wanted a chicken.
I think it is one creature though. Even though it's probably gonna eat at least one horse. We can sacrifice a horse.
Well, we've got a load of bear meat as well.
See? Now you're thinking. It ate fish, so it's an omnivore, carnivore. We could dump some of the bear meat to a side and just use that as a distraction, maybe.
Well,
You
it's
wanna try that?
territorial. You know.
Yeah,
like
but
food, mate. It's either going to kill us, eat us, or hump us.
if it's look, listen. If it's hunger satiated, it's gonna rest. It's not gonna have time to chase things off its territory.
All right. So.
I'll follow your lead, Doctor.
Yeah. You continue to talk until finally the Wolverine will swing its head around, looking back. It has now noticed you all, spots you, turns. As the large figure of this beast turns away from the water's edge, you can actually see along its side. It seems like this creature's been in a fight, maybe with other giant wolverines around this region, right? But it has a massive, large, still red kind of wound tracing the length of its body down. And as it turns and focuses on you all in the wagon, what are you doing?
Well, let's see. Ignis is just gonna be like, fuck this. You know what? Let's just kill this thing. What's the worst that can happen? We die? I've done it once. You can bring me back, right? I'll take that as a yes.
And Shad will fart nervously.
Fart nervous. Okay.
So I'm gonna take a second to just make sure my talismans are fixed. So I've got the 2 talismans. I'm gonna make sure one's affixed to my armor and one's affixed to my longsword.
Okay. So you jump off the wagon, start to make your way down to the creature, or do you want it to rush you? What's the intention here?
I want it to rush me, but I do want to give it something to distract it on the way. So I want to carry some of the bear meat with me, and dump that kind of ahead of me, and hopefully that'll just kind of temporarily slow it down.
Okay, tossing it ahead of you. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like lure or bait or something.
Okay. All right. So then I will place you where I place you.
Shad will follow, but make sure Ignis is in front of him.
Oh, whoops. Let me change this real quick. There we go. So I placed you here, and let us roll initiative on this. So as the two of you approach, you are tossing out pieces of meat. So, I rolled the absolute lowest it could.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything I could justifiably do instead of perception. But that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So the creature turns and looks to the two of you as you start to make your way down closer to it. And so we will begin this encounter. So the two of you have the drop. The creature kind of momentarily dips its body down, right? Kind of bracing itself against the ground. You start hearing the snarling sound kind of erupt from the massive creature. It is wounded. It's got a large wound down the side of its body. But in any case, oh, sorry. Actually, this should be. There we go. Sorry about that.
So let's see. First thing, Ignis can see the hyena. Sorry, I keep saying hyena. Sorry, it's
the
he
Wolverine.
can see the Wolverine. And just one thing to ask. When I roll to remember what the creature was, do I know if it's like, does it navigate mostly by sight or by sound? Like, is it like how good are its eyes? Just kind of a question.
How good are its eyes? The eyes
Like
are very
normal
good,
vision, right?
and
Normal vision. Okay.
yeah, and you would assume that this creature, at a larger size such as this, it probably has. It already typically has good scent, but it has much better scent right now that it's mega.
All right, that's good. I'm gonna do two things for now. First, Ignis is gonna do an exploit vulnerability because he can see it. So he has his bell in his hand, his sword in the other, and he's gonna just try and see. Okay, this is a regular Wolverine that's been magically enhanced somehow. So maybe there's a specific weakness that can apply. He's gonna try and offhand see what he can figure out about it. So exploit vulnerability. I'll roll the check. It's supposed to be against his class DC.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I have to do a lore check. 1 sec.
Yeah. So specific lore or whatever, right? Against the 24. So that definitely works. So what you would learn about this creature?
Basically, if it has a specific weakness, and then if I attack it, it'll apply that additional weakness if it succeeds.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll say it doesn't have any like weaknesses, like specific weaknesses. It is just a powerful beast-like creature. What I'll give you though, if this creature chases you down, it tends to, if it is able to get a hold of you with its jaws, it will attempt to just immediately kind of finish the job, so to speak.
Right.
And I'll give you, because that's a really good roll, if you were able to somehow, right, trying to make your escape from this creature, find yourself up a tree or some sort, you get the feeling that this, you knowing the smaller version of it, you do not think that would be an impediment against this creature, as it would just, make its way up.
Alright, so he's just gonna shout really quick. So it can climb and it will bite your skull off if it can.
Basically.
And, okay, so 2 actions left. He's gonna move and
So first action is exploit vulnerability.
Yeah, first action. Second action is gonna move like 25 feet
Okay.
to the left.
All right. They move to the left.
And just let's see. Can I ready an act? Let's see. If it makes an attack, I can use my implement. Like if it's within 30 feet, it makes an attack. I can use a reaction. But for now, I can't use it. Can I take? It's within 30 feet, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna try and demoralize. Just like use the elemental embellishment to kind of frighten it, if I can. It didn't work before, but let's see.
Yeah, this worked so well last time.
Yeah, it worked really well last time. Just be like, you know what? Maybe.
yeah, it worked last time. What did it do last time? It made the black bear jump you and fucking rip you to pieces instantly. Yeah, okay.
He's just gonna be like, you know what? Second time's a charm. Second time's a charm.
Indeed. And it is unfortunately not. So attempt to demoralize this creature, right? Using the sudden, like, is it like flames, right? Yeah, using the flames, and the creature just bares its fangs, and there's this like drip of kind of slobber and spit down its face, as it looks directly at you. You seem to have only gained its attention. This is very quickly becoming an unfortunate scenario because
no,
yeah,
I'm gonna die.
Good job, Doctor.
Like, just bring me back, all right?
So that's your actions.
Two actions.
Yeah,
I've got a reaction if it hits me or if it hits Chad. So
all right. Shad. So seeing Ignis take the place and kind of throwing out these pieces of meat. Actually, let me check that really quick. So will that? I'm gonna say it's an interesting way to do it. So I'm gonna base this on like a will save of its own, to see if it gets distracted by the chunks of bear meat that you've essentially thrown out to it, right?
Yeah. So I'll say the meat somewhere like here.
Yeah, like somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It takes a look at you, and then it bares its fangs at you, right? Like, you know, basically telling you, like, don't come any closer, right? That universal warning. But then it turns and looks, and it is staring at the pile of bear meat. So, Shad. Sorry.
Okay. So, movement first. Shad is going to move down here. I'm just making sure I've got him. Pretty sure I've got him in the right place there.
Okay, so you get closer. All right.
He's got to. There's no choice about this.
No choice about it. Okay.
And Shad is going to cast command.
Okay. Cast command. So it has to make a 18 will save. What is the command that you are going to be shouting?
Well, we need to know. We need to know the results because it's either I command it to do one action or I command it to do 3 actions.
Okay.
And on its result. Oh, damn it!
Oh,
Jesus. Oh, it's alright. I was clicking on Ignis,
wait,
but
what? Oh,
yeah, I had your token selected, unfortunately, but it's still a natural 20.
Unaffected. Okay,
so this will be a so critical success on this, just for a total, will be 29. So yeah,
I mean, it's success. It's just the creature's unaffected.
Okay, so you go and you look to command it, but that is, you gain the attention of the creature, right? Because the two of you are kind of corralling it, you know, on either side, as each of you kind of splits yourself apart and kind of, you know, you're basically giving it like one way. If it wants to run, right, it essentially now, for the most part, has like one direction, which is behind it, but it is stood firm. So first action, you move down and you cast command. That's two actions.
2 actions.
Okay. Okay, so because the will was so terrible, I'm going to say this creature will then instead, we'll use one action. Sorry, whoops, I got everybody clicked here. We'll use one action.
I had a lot of riding on that working.
Yeah, it'll approach here. It'll approach up close and impersonal, and as it gets up close, like kind of in between the two of you, as it gets like up close, it'll use one action to move, the second action to just put its head down and just immediately chomp up all of the bear meat that you've left, and then with its third action, it is going to look between the two of you and decide which one of you is the more tastier option. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4. It turns its head and it looks right at you, Shad, and it starts to turn its big body.
I want you to roll threat, food, or mate.
What's that?
I want you to roll threat, food, or mate.
Threat, food on 8. Yeah.
Threat, food, or mate. You know, what's it going to do to me?
It bears its fangs. I think you get a clear picture of what's going to happen. But Ignis.
It looks like it's flirting with me, Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
It turns its back to you, Ignis.
All right. If its back is to me, okay. If I hit it right, like if I go up to it and hit it now, it's not counting as flank because it's not right up against someone, right? It's not right.
When
It
they're
has to be-
larger like this,
Yeah.
We have to be up against it to be flanked.
No, that's fine.
no. When they're larger like this, you can. I think technically, like if Shad were here, right? I think the creature would be flanked because it's larger, but it just depends. Yeah.
If you moved into that bit of water. There.
So,
yeah, like 2 squares off. Yeah, how am I gonna hit it? Like just throw pebbles at it, splash it in water.
well,
all right,
I think
so
technically this would work, right? I'm not sure how it it'll automatically do it, but we'll see.
well, if it's built in, then it'll do it or it won't. So in this case, I'm just gonna just 1 move action, 1 attack, and then 1 desperate move action again, I guess.
Okay.
Because he's learned from experience not to stay next to creatures when they're here.
Indeed. So move in.
Yeah, 1 move in, and then he's gonna make an attack with his long.
Okay. That does not hit.
19 doesn't hit. Oh my god, this thing is built. All right.
Built. Oh wait, no, a 19 should hit. Sorry, I have the wrong setting on it. Go ahead and roll damage on that. My bad.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a weaker version of what it is. 12. Okay.
All right, so it added the influence part. I think it didn't add the weakness thing, so that's gonna be another 2 damage or 3 damage, I think.
2 damage. Let's see.
Stuff in.
Oh, on the exploit vulnerability, right?
Yeah. But it's a success. So again, it doesn't have a specific weakness, so we're just gonna do the mortal. What's it called? The personal antithesis. So it just it adds the like half my level plus something. I think it's gonna be a flat 2 or flat 3 damage in this game.
Flat 2. Do you know for sure? Because I don't want to cheat you out of
have
damage.
To check. Yeah, I have to check. Give me once.
Yeah. Okay. But either way, whoops, this changed it. This needs to be fixed. Sorry. This should be. There we go.
I'm just cross-checking on Path Builder what the thing was.
All right, so it takes 12. Here, let me take a look. Exploit vulnerability, personal antithesis. So you improvise. So, this causes a target creature and only the target creature to gain a weakness against your unarmed and weapon strikes equal to 2 plus half your level. So it would be 3. So an additional 3 points of damage.
Yeah, so 2 plus. So it was just 2 points when it was at level 1, but now I'm at level 2, so it's gonna be 2 plus 1.
Fair
so
enough.
Yeah,
okay. All right. So, so you approach, getting the flank off on the back, and you slice your blade into its side, and then what are you looking to do?
I'm gonna go back. I think back or towards. No, I'm gonna go towards to the southeast, kind of. Just make a full dash. Or not dash, like go 25 feet, just as much as I can. So that's my 3rd act.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's like you're running by it, right? And by, you just put your blade to the side and you kind of carve into the side of the beast. Okay, perfect. So that is your 3 actions. Immediately kind of turns and looks to you instead. Shan, the creature now no longer has eyes on you. It is now focused on. Ignis.
So this might be a good time to run.
Not again.
It very much could be. Yeah. Sorry, I'll do this.
Okay. What's the score with using 2 cantrips in the same 3?
I think it's perfectly fine as long as you have the actions, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's any issues with that.
Back in a second, guys.
Yeah. As far as my understanding of it goes, yeah. If you have the space for them, then you're perfectly fine to do so.
Okay.
It should be there.
Right. Let's first off, let's cast shield.
Yeah, definitely. Drop shield. You know, you're not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna fuck around with this massive beast, right? So.
Do that, and I want to risk status. I just want to do some damage.
Okay, so.
Well, is this for a beast? Right. Great. We'll just go for hit with Divine Lance.
Divine Lance. Okay. So drop the shield. Have it. Oh, you have to target it, but a 15 will unfortunately not hit.
There you go.
So yeah, the Divine Lance kind of shoots out over the creature's shoulder, and it doesn't even notice the attack as its eyes are fully dead set on Ignis. So that is your 2 actions.
Yeah.
So
Win-win.
all right, there we go. So now, having been distracted 2 times, which I think is very, very, very nice.
Irritating. I'm sure very irritating for this.
But now, it knows who it wants to attack, and it rushes forward, focused on you, Ignis, and it will make a. It will take a huge bite in your direction, as it opens up its large jaws, baring its teeth fully.
If I don't die, I have a reaction. Oh my
It's
god.
a critical.
Critical hit.
This is what happened last time.
This is what happened last time.
Alright, let's see. Let's see what the damage is. Am I gonna beg it back to dying too?
29.
I am
instantly dropped.
Instantly dropped. I'm a dying too.
Okay. Creature grabs a hold of you, shaking you. This is like a repeat in your mind. You have seen this before, Shad, as this creature jumps atop of Ignis, and Ignis, you are now dying too. It will use the second. So, because this jaw attack has a bite or a grab feature to it, so the requirement is the creature's last action was a success with a strike that lists grab as the damage entry, right? So basically, what happens is automatically you are grabbed by this creature. And it cannot use that body part anymore. So it basically has Ignis in his mouth as it bites down onto him. That is, I think it takes an action to use the grab. So that is its 3 actions to move, attack, and then grab. But you get the feeling, Shad, looking at this creature, that if you do not stop this, then Ignis is about to be food for this creature. And so let us change this to whenever you get dropped by a creature, your initiative goes just before that creature's turn. So let me holy shit, you're actually dying 3 because you're wounded.
No, was it no? I was wounded once. Would that put me at dying too, or does it give me like another
a crit, a hit that
it's a crit.
is a crit.
Oh, right.
So you're dying 3. So if you fail this recovery check, you are full dead.
Oh man.
So, sorry. Whoops. Let's go back. Shad, you see this creature jump atop of Ignis, grabbing a hold of it, ripping it, holding it in its mouth as it turns. It drags the unconscious body of Ignis around with its head as it turns and looks to you, and places one paw down on Ignis's chest. You get the feeling that in a few moments he is about to chomp down and rip away. So,
I'll be honest with you, Ice. I don't know that I can save you.
Yeah, I don't know that you can actually, because you have to be right next to me to stabilize, right? Or
I can no, I can cast that from 30. I can do that from here. That's 2 actions. But all I've got is stabilize you and move, or hit him with a sling.
I will say, to be clear, this creature is very badly wounded. The initial wound left on it, and then the massive wound that Ignis has laid into it. This creature is like on its. It is like.
It looks rough.
It is very rough, very very rough, I should say.
Okay. There might be something I can do here. Then.
Yeah. So you.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it. I know what I'm gonna do. Are you all right there, Doctor? You're looking a little cold. And this is. Let's make sure I get this right, otherwise I will finish him off. I think this will just work. Shad is completely out of character. Gonna move to here.
Holy shit. Okay.
And
wow. God, good luck.
and Shad is gonna use a focus spell.
Okay.
Incendiary aura. It's all I've got.
Okay. You surround yourself with a combustible aura. Each time a creature within the emanation takes fire damage, it catches on fire, taking 2d4 persistent fire damage. Okay.
Right now, I can actually. I think I can put this so that neither of us are in it.
Well, so it's 10-foot emanation from yourself.
Yeah, but he says
Circle, right?
from my
Yeah.
surround yourself. Yeah, so
Because it's an
yeah,
aura,
so,
right? Yeah. So it's.
I put it there.
Holy shit! So he's just out of range for it. Holy fuck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was checking.
It's
amazing.
So so the creature
That's all
takes.
I've got. That is my best option.
Holy shit. So the creature takes, I think 8 on the initial, and it is on fire. Correct.
And it's gonna stay on fire as long as it's there.
And stay on fire as long as it's there. And then, sorry, let me click this and then this. And it is on fire. Okay. So you rush forward and you burst out this fire from your body. Okay. Holy fuck this. Holy shit. Okay.
How do I get rid of one of my focus points?
If you just, I think if you left click it.
Oh, there.
Yeah. Gone. Okay. All right. So coming around, Ignis, you have to make a recovery check. So the way to do that, if you check your character sheet, next to the dying button, there's a little dice. If you hover it, it'll say recovery check. This will decide if you live or die. So this is.
Yes.
Oh,
sorry, Isaac. I literally couldn't get to you to do anything else.
Yeah. That's all we got. All right, rolling now.
You make it.
Oh man.
You are.
Good thing I used up my napkin early.
Yeah, you are dying. Sorry, dying 2 now. Okay. Whew. That is super close. The creature burst into flame. Is going to let go of Ignis, turn to you, and snap its jaws on you instead in this moment, Shad.
And it would.
And it would also be a crit.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
So.
That is one angry Wolverine.
So Shad takes 33.
Yeah, and I only have 31.
So you are now downed and also dying too because you are. Wait. Holy shit. Okay. So how would this work? Because you're still technically on fire, dying too. The creature is so wounded. I think at this point, I'm gonna roll something. This will be like a morale check for because it is on fire. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a concentration spell or anything like that, so it's just there.
So it's just there. So, it'll turn. the fire needs to. Where's the? Sorry. So the fire needs to go. Needs to roll. Roll damage. So it'll take 6 more damage, and the creature will turn, looking to rush to the water's edge, or actually rushing around on fire in pain, and before it gets a chance, it will burn to a crisp and die. So we're in a very weird place here, right? Because basically
we're both down.
We're both dying.
We're both dying. So I think then what we need to do here, as unfortunate as it may be, because there are 2 other people that are technically involved in the campaign, right? Who could attempt to help the 2 of you. I think then, because I don't want to make the rolls myself, because I don't think that would be fair, right? I think that would be a little weird. And they're right here, so they would be able to help.
So close the session now and then restart. Both of us dying and
yeah, so we'll do one more round of recovery checks. We'll say it takes a round for them to run over to try and help you guys, right? So I think that's a bit fair. So we'll say, Shad, go ahead and roll me a recovery check.
Okay. How do I do that?
next to dying, there's a
Yeah.
dice.
If you look at your character sheet, next to dying, there's a small little dice. You hover over it. It'll be in the top left.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Because technically you could just roll yourself into stable.
Oh, that's not good.
Alright, so Shad is closer to death.
Okay,
And
roll.
Ignis, go ahead and give me another one. And so the 2 of you are both... Alright,
Oh man.
so I think now, as the 2 of you lay dying on the ground, the others will rush forward, looking to help you as best as they can. I think though it'd be, man, the only reason I'm kind of wrestling with it is because if we come back and say suddenly it's really fucked up and they're not able to help, right? Because neither of them have...
Sorry, we're back in like 1 minute. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
I did battlefield medicine, and I don't think either of them have that.
No, it wouldn't be battlefield. This would be like a straight treat wounds check. Like they could, yeah, they could definitely try to intervene on this scenario. But the worry I'm having is like if we come back and then you just die at the start of the session, I feel like that would be very cheap feeling. Like it'd be very weird. So what I'm I think against my typical nature, I think I'm gonna say that they have the ability to help you, and instead of dying, I think would this be fair? I mean, there's 2 ways we can go about it. Either they can help you and settle the situation, right? And maybe because we're doing like a free help, maybe instead of like a normal 1 wound that you would take, maybe you take 2. Or we can just roll the recovery checks and see if you die or not.
I think I've got a better chance with the 2 wounds. So I mean, in terms of keeping the character going, I'd be happy with that.
2 wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
That'll put. So.
I mean, Ignis has already got 1 wound though, hasn't he? What does putting 3 wounds on him do?
Yeah, let me see.
Back to die in 1.
So let's see. If you already have the wounded condition, your wounded increases by 1. Yeah, so you can only be wounded 3 times. So it'll put. Okay.
So it'll put me at wound 2, and
it'll put you at wound 2, and it'll
3.
put Ignis at wound. Yeah. So if Ignis goes down either by a crit or if he just goes down and then fails the recovery check, he'll immediately be dead, right? So that'll be like, okay, we'll do that. We'll put Ignis at full wounded, and we'll put Shad at wounded 2, and then we will drop the dying, and we'll have it so narratively the others run up and rush to your aid, immediately kind of putting bandages to your wounds and taking care of the two of you as you've faced off with this wounded and now burnt to a crisp next to you. So Ice, the fix that we went with, because it feels weird to come back and then like next week and then, you know, immediately have you die.
Right.
The compromise was that I'll give you 2 wounded rather than 1. So now Ignis is at full wounded, right? So if you do get knocked down, right, you'll be basically on 1 roll until death.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll do that. All right. So the 2 of you laid out on your backs, the burning giant Wolverine creature right at the edge of water, right before it could just rush in and you know, stop this pain to it. It falls to the damage. And so that is where we end off, with the other 2 rushing to your aid, coming and immediately helping situate the 2 of you. And so this will do a whole lot for Escucho's opinion of these 2 characters.
While he was sat by watching.
Yeah, while he sat by watching. Yeah, so
it's probably just like, yeah, you guys try, and then yep, you guys are useless.
Okay, so all right, so I will go ahead and sign on the stream and stuff like here, but just give me a few moments and I'll be right back. So good shit, guys. So all right, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Unhostile DM, non-hostile DM. He's a merciful god. I just, it just feels like, because we're unfortunately short of 2 people, right, when we typically wouldn't be, I think then it's probably just in the best, for a better story, right, that things go this way, because it feels really weird to like, hey, commit the time for next week, because, you know, it'd be really fucked up. The blood is coming. This is what it's all building up to. This is only session 5, right? We've got, you know, at least, at minimum, 3 to 4 more, and we've got 2 of them who are in really, really bad condition, right? So I think blood is coming. We're just building up to the blood rather than, you know, having blood at the first. Nah. From now on, this is the only time that I'm going to do this, and it's only because of the special circumstances of the half the party being gone. If that were not the case, right, I would have fucking killed these guys, absolutely. But special circumstances call for some special GM ruling. Yeah. Is it because I like Chris more? Hey, come on. No. So, from here on out, they're not going to be able to get rid of the wounds anyways. They're going to keep that wounded condition. So if they go down in the next fight, like it is very, very much a chance for, you know, them to get fucking absolutely bodied. I've grown soft. Yes, fatherhood has softened me. But thank you all for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week, or not next week, sorry, tomorrow for the Wednesday campaign, Stagnant Waters. And so, thank you all for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to get involved, the best place to be is in the Discord. This may not be the best opinion of me as a GM, right? Because I'm, you know, being a bit nice when I typically am not. But either way, if you'd like to get involved, maybe play in a future campaign, best places to be is the growing Discord. We have a good, fun community there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or a good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Peace, guys. Later.